it's Joanne and welcome back. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about all my unfinished series. I have a lot of unfinished series because I start lots of series and I take my time finishing them. So this video may have to be broken up into 2 or 3 different videos because I have a lot of unfinished series. For this video, I'm going to first talk about the unfinished series I have that are series where all the books are not published yet. These are all series that still have books to come. I've pulled out as many physical books as I can. A lot of these books don't include the first book in a series because usually when I read a first book in a series, I have a bin that I put it in that's reserved for all the firsts in a series. All of my books are scattered all over my apartment and it would just be a massive undertaking for me to find them all and film it and then put them all back. So I just got as many as I could that are already on my 2 bookshelves that I have in the apartment. So let's get started. The first series is a series that I am already caught up on and I'm just waiting for the last book to be published. And that series is The Young Elites, which includes The Young Elites and The Rose Society by Marie Lu. The third book I think is coming out in October and I think it's called The Midnight Star. I'm not sure about that. I've caught up to this series. I love this series. It's one of my favorites and both books are 5 stars. The next series is one I'm caught up with because it's only a duology, and that is the Six of Crows duology, which includes Six of Crows, and the new book Crooked Kingdom is coming out in September, I think. Duology is by Leigh Bardugo and I love it so much. It was awesome and it is so fun and I cannot wait for the next book to come out. This one made it onto my favorites list also. The next series that I haven't finished is the Illuminae Files by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. And the books in that are Illuminae, and the second one I think is coming out in October, and it is called Gemina or Gemina. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. But this book is awesome. It's set in space, and the way that this story is told through documents and files is just so awesome, and I didn't want to pick it up because I don't like sci-fi books and I don't like books in space, but I decided to give it a try and I absolutely love this book. This is one of my top favorites from last year that I read and I can't wait for the second one. The next series is Jacobee by William Ritter, and from that series I have read Jacobee and I need to read Beastly Bones. And the third book, Ghostly Echoes, is coming out. I'm not sure when. I think it might be in August when it's coming out. I love this series. The first one was hilarious. I'm glad I gave it a shot to read. It was one of the best books of last year, and it is 5 out of 5 stars for me. The next series I need to finish is the Walking Dead comic book series. I have already read The Walking Dead Compendium 1, and I love it. Everybody knows, who's watched my channel knows I am a Walking Dead super fan and I love it and I love everything about it. So I've read this one and obviously it's on my favorites. It's 5 out of 5 stars. But I still have to read The Walking Dead Compendium 2, The Walking Dead Compendium 3, and The Walking Dead Volume 25, and I'm pretty sure that the comic books are still going to be going on and I will be buying all of the volumes as they come out. The next series is an Ember in the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir, and that includes An Ember in the Ashes, which I have already read, and the next book comes out in August, and that is A Torch Against the Night. I really like this book. It was a 4 stars for me. I'm intrigued to see what happens from where this book left off, because it kind of left off on like a kind of a cliffhanger, so I want to see what's happening. The next series that I need to finish is the Gods with Fangs series by D.C. Armstrong. I have read the first book, which is Gods with Fangs, and it's a vampire dystopian novel. I have to read the second book, Unleashing Jupiter, and it's supposed to be a trilogy, so I'm waiting for the third book. It hasn't come out yet. But I enjoyed this series and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next series is Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes, and in that series is Queen of Hearts, and the second book, The Wonder. I read the first book, really loved it, made it to my top favorites list, 5 out of 5 stars. I'm waiting for the third book to come out. I just found out recently that Harper Teen has taken over as her publisher, so they're republishing the first 2 books before the 3rd one is released. So they've republished this one, which I got last month. The 2nd book is going to be republished into hardcover like this one in January of 2017, and I don't know when the 3rd one's coming out, but I can't wait for it. The next series is the Proto-Genoise series by Eva Van Rel. The book is The Butterfly Crust, which I really liked, and it has to do with mythology, and it was really good, and I gave it a 4 stars. The 2nd one has not been published yet, so I'm still waiting for it. The next series that I have to complete is The Rain by Virginia Bergin. In America, the first book is called H2O, but in England, it's called The Rain. And the 2nd book is called The Storm. So I've read H2O. It was okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, but it was still interesting enough for me to continue on to see what happens. I don't know if this is just going to be a duology or if there's going to be another book. The next series is the Torchkeeper series by Steven Dos Santos, and that includes The Culling, which is the first book, which I read and really loved. Gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The 2nd book, The Sowing, and I just saw that there was a 3rd book published called The Rising. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy and The Rising is the last book or there's going to be another one. The next series is called Queen of the Dead by Michelle Segarra, and the first book is Silence, which I read and I loved it so much, and it was really good. 5 out of 5 stars, and it's on my favorites also. A lot of these books are on my favorites. I noticed that I keep saying that. And the 2nd book is Touch, which I haven't read yet, and the 3rd book is called Grave, but I've been waiting for that book for like 3 years, and I just found out that it's supposed to be coming out in 2017, but I don't know about that because every year they change the date on Goodreads, so I really don't know when it's going to come out. The next series is the Vieux Rivage series by Sarah Cross, and the books include Kill Me Softly, which I love. It gave 5 out of 5 stars. This is one of my favorites also. And the 2nd book just came out, and that is Tear You Apart. The series is kind of like a companion series. The next series is the Shades of London series by Maureen Johnson. I read the first book, which is The Name of the Star, which was okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I wasn't really too into it, but I gave the 2nd book, which is The Madness Underneath, a try, and I loved this book, and I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. And the 3rd book is The Shadow Cabinet, which I have not read yet, and the 4th book is supposed to be coming out, but there's no date until when it's coming out, so I don't know when. I'm glad that I gave it a 2nd try with the 2nd book. The next series is the Rebel of the Sands series by Alwyn Hamilton, and the first book is Rebel of the Sands. This was just published this year, but I think it's going to be a trilogy. I really liked it, and it's on my favorites. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I can't wait to continue on in this series and see what happens. The next series is Riders by Veronica Rossi, and this is about the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. First book is Riders, which I read, and it was okay. I gave it like a 3 stars. And the 2nd book is coming out. I'm not sure what the name is, but I know it's coming out next year, I think in January. The next series that I want to complete is Walk on Earth a Stranger by Ray Carson. The first book in the series is Walk on Earth a Stranger, which I read and loved so much, and I gave it a 4 stars. And the 2nd book, Like a River Glorious, is coming out in September, and then there's going to be a 3rd book in this trilogy, I think probably coming out next year. The next series is the Dive Bar series by Kylie Scott. The first book in that series is Dirty. This was just published in April of 2016, so right now it's the only book that's out, but the 2nd book, Twist, is coming out soon. I think it might be coming out in the fall. I'm not sure yet, but I love this series. It was really good. Gave it a 4 stars. Not as good as her Stage Dive series, but this one was really good still, and I liked it. The next series is the Ivory and Bone series by Julie Eschbog. The first book is Ivory and Bone. I have a whole review for this book, so I'll link it down below, but I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I can't wait to continue on with it. It's a prehistoric story, so anything with prehistoric settings in it, I'm there. And the last series, where the books have not all been published yet, is the Conqueror Saga, or the End I Darken series by Kirsten White. I'm not too sure what the series is called yet, because both series names are on Goodreads, so I'm not sure what it's called yet. But the first book is End I Darken, and I have a review for this book out, so I will link it down below. I liked it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's a good setup for the second book in the series, which will probably be coming out next year. So I can't wait to continue on with this series. Those are all the series that I have to finish where the books are not all published yet. I will do another video with my unfinished series where all the books are already published. Thank you guys for watching. You can let me know down below if you started any of these series, and I will see you next time with another video.